Hello YouTube, today I'll be doing my channel year in review for 2016. So before I start, I'd like to congratulate the winners from YouTube and Twitter giveaway contests. Part 1 will be my year in review about my YouTube channel, and Part 2 will be about Runescape. So here's the table of contents. I'll start by doing the introduction, then I'll do the stats for YouTube, then the goals for 2016 I had, then the improvements from 2015, and then I'll talk about what I learned over the course of the year, and then I'll talk about my methodologies I've done, and then the Iron Man series, and the feedback I've received, and then the biggest challenges and the plans for 2017. So feel free to click any annotations if you want to skip sections. So I'd like to start by saying thank you for all the support you guys brought me. I'm proud of the work I've done, and I would really love to continue my success. It means so much to me, even though I rarely talk about it, you know? I went from 135 subs to over 1K this year. So here's the general YouTube stats for 2016. I uploaded a total of 40 videos. As you can see, I earned around $100 this year. Honestly, it's not so bad, but hey, it's just YouTube, so you can't really expect much, you know? I got a total of 160k views this year. Mostly got them from Reddit, so thanks for all the support, especially by bumping my videos to the front page so I can get more views. I'm pretty satisfied with how many subscribers I got, but you know, I probably could have gotten more to be honest. My most viewed video was Crystallized Grenwell's Guide, and it taught me a lot about YouTube. I still can't believe to this day, the very first video I made this year got the most views. I guess maybe people wanted to get 9900 quickly, and maybe they were looking for a detailed guide on this. To be honest, if I redid the video again, I would definitely do it again. But then again, not much has changed with Crystallize. At number 2, we have another Crystallize guide, which is Crystallized Teaks. Yeah, it's quite popular because it's really fast woodcutting XP, I guess. I'm not going to go through every video one by one, but yeah, here are the top 10 most viewed in 2016. Surprisingly, among the top 10, there was only one video where I used my new microphone. I just wish I upgraded my mic early on, you know, so I could have gotten more views. So last year I did my year in review, and so here are the goals I had for this year. The first goal I achieved was 1K subscribers. I was quite confident at the start of the year, and I honestly thought I could achieve it, but there were so many obstacles I faced throughout the year. And yeah, thanks for all the support especially. In the middle of the year, it got very slow, so yeah, I went through the roughest times. But it felt great that at number 1000, it came on Christmas Day, just 15 minutes before Boxing Day. The second goal was to try to do an Iron Man series. I never really had the time or motivation to play on Iron Man. I was always busy with a lot of things going on with me. And to be honest, I don't really think I can afford membership on multiple accounts at once, you know? I mean, I'm not trying to sound cheap, but I gotta save money for my main account, you know? I need them for buyable skills when it comes to double XP weekends, and of course future giveaways. Although I did get Iron Man membership for 2 weeks for free, and I did 2 episodes on that. Unfortunately, not a lot of people watched it. I mean, let's be honest. You subscribed me in the first place, mainly because of guides, right? So I guess yeah, that's fair enough. And another problem was, it took a lot of time and space in my hard drive. Since I have absolutely no understanding on how Progress Video Series works, I had to record everything. Literally everything, as I played along. Kinda like a stream basically. Now that took up a lot of space, and in 2 weeks alone, that's like 600 gigabytes on my hard drive. And another time-consuming challenge was, I had to keep track of what activities I achieved on my Iron Man every day, and my plans at the end of every day. So yes, the planning part on my Iron Man is already a lot of effort, even without making videos on it. And with YouTube, it's even harder to have to search every clip and see if the achievement progress is worth including or not. Then also writing the commentary script is another time-consuming part. Now, I was told not to do voiceovers for every piece of progress. However, I don't honestly know how it's supposed to be done. Am I supposed to say everything live, or how am I supposed to choose whatever clip is worth showing or not when it's live? What if other clips I want to include but didn't record commentary on it? It's just, there's a lot of questions I'd like to ask, but not a lot of people can help me answer it. So really, I'm not specialized with this, but if you can help me out, I'd be more than glad to try it out. I'd be honored if someone who does progress videos very fluently, like Overfletch, Alone RS, a friend, or Alkin, or Crunchy, or maybe some really good RuneScape YouTuber, can really provide me some tips. So anyways, the last goal I wanted to do was improve my video production efficiency. Last year, it used to take an extremely long time to produce a video, since I had to record every sentence instead of paragraph by paragraph. That alone took a lot of time. I did state that the perfection was much harder back then, because yeah, I had to be literally perfect every time. And if I missed one small thing, I'd be very unhappy. Well, right now, if I miss something minor, I can always add it in later. But yeah, I did improve my video production efficiency compared to last year, so that's why I posted more videos. Okay, so let's talk about what I learned over the course of this year. First, I learned how to make videos better quality. I started by using Sony Vegas with this, because it has better rendering quality. It also offers many editing features that Windows Movie Maker cannot provide, you know? So another thing I learned was how to make my commentary flow a little more smoothly. It's not at its best right now, but I really think I improved compared to before. If you listen to my crystallized Grenwalls guide, compared to, I don't know, this video I guess, at least it's a little more smooth than before. I used to start by recording sentence by sentence, like I said. But still, it's not the most natural voice I got, so let's be honest. I'll discuss this later in the feedback section. I've also learned how to improve my sound quality using Audacity. I started using this in my Saradaman encampment video, so then I realized how cool it actually was. You can do all sorts of things, like increase the volume or remove any background noise. The features are actually quite amazing, so that's why it helped me record multiple sentences at once. With Audacity, I could delete part of an audio track or just cut out any bad sentences. So yeah, this piece of software really did help me with my audio quality editing. As for microphone, I started by using a Logitech headset microphone. It's better than my old laptop built-in microphone I used last year, but it's still not quite a good quality mic. You can hear a lot of muffling noises sometimes. I can't really describe it in words. So then I switched over to a Blue Snowball mic, which has a better quality sound mic. At first, it had trouble picking up signal. Well, it's probably because I placed it a little too far. And then there was echoing noise going on with my microphone. I didn't know at first what was causing that, but I think it's probably because my room is too big, and there's also hardwood. So I did the recordings at school, where I booked a quiet study room. They have carpets and rooms that are very small, so it really does absorb the echo. But then sometimes it's inconvenient to do that, but hey, at least the solution was well worth it. Well, for now that is. Although right now I'm actually recording at home instead, so you might hear a little bit of echo. Another piece of software I learned was Photoshop. So I used to use Pixlr app online or Microsoft Paint to edit my images. Later on I started to use Photoshop. My friends kept telling me how amazing the image editing features are. So I used to start playing around with Photoshop back in high school, but it was really confusing, so I simply gave up on it. For like the second part of the year, I used it for thumbnails and any PowerPoint slides. The graphic features are quite nice, really. Then I started to create templates for thumbnails and PowerPoint slides. The font I mainly used was Impact. This makes it a lot easier just to edit the images, instead of having to recreate them. So most importantly, last but not least, I've learned that sometimes there's no such thing as 100% customer satisfaction. You know, not everyone's gonna be happy with what you upload. And at first, I thought if one person wasn't happy, then nobody was. I gotta admit, honestly, early on I got a lot of dislikes because of many factors really. I mean, do dislikes really matter? Well, it depends on the situation really, but for the most part, dislikes are based on personal opinion rather than fact. For example, if I made a video on how to kill Arids without a cannon compared to with a cannon, but yet they're still around the same kill speed per hour, some people might dislike it based on their personal opinion. We all have opinions here, so yeah, I respect everyone's view of the game. Even if you're subscribed to me, it doesn't mean you're getting 100% satisfaction off my guides. Now, I'm not saying that because I want to troll you intentionally by spreading false information, but you know, I try my best to give you the best content. And to add to that, I shouldn't really feel pressured for really anything. I just learned that I gotta have more control over my channel, you know? Alright, so here are the methodologies I'll run through step by step. So step 1, I get a new video idea. Then step 2, I write down any rough draft notes for the video. Then step 3, I do research on any basic information. Then step 4 is all the testing. So step 5, the rough draft for writing down the script. At the same time, I write any slides or on-screen text in advance. Then step 6, I usually proofread my scripts the next day, so that way it's way easier for me to understand. Then pretty much this is where the production comes into play. I start by doing my audio recording at my school library study room. Then after I do my full recording, I go on Audacity and edit it to make it more smooth. I can now start using Sony Vegas and arrange each and every piece of text in the video. Then the final step is the rendering and uploading. So yeah, that's pretty much how I develop my videos. So let's move on to the feedback section. Over the course of the year, I receive all kinds of feedback. I appreciate the feedback you guys bring. So let's take a look at the top 3 most common feedback I received. The first and most common feedback I received was the voice sounding rather unnatural. Well, to be honest, I do happen to read off scripts, first of all, like I said before. However, I do try to cater my script writing to use words I use on a daily basis rather than any complicated vocabulary. For example, when I'm talking about a certain mechanic that requires you to move somewhere on the map, I wouldn't write maneuver on the script. I also do proofread the script a couple of times before the recording, just to make sure everything I read is going to be smooth. Now when it comes to the recording, I try my best to act the words out. Of course, it doesn't go all so well, but at least I've heard comments of others saying that it sounds more natural than it actually looks. Well anyways, for those who are saying I don't sound natural, I have to admit, I kinda do agree with you. However, there are various reasons why I can't ramble any information. Well, for one thing, I don't have great information organization skills. In other words, I can't really see what information's off the top of my head and transfer it directly to my mouth. It just really seems difficult for me to do that. I did try to condense the information to notes instead, but it still seems very complicated to make it more smooth. Another reason is, I'm more used to being a typer rather than a speaker. I spend a lot more time typing, even if I'm not on YouTube rather than speaking. Now I'm not afraid of public speaking at all. I've done it a couple times, and I do have presentations to go through at school. I don't usually care much about those presentations because yeah, even if my information's off by a couple of blocks, I can still get a good evaluation on it. So this ties into my next point. I prefer to be perfect with my information because really, once you upload the video, you don't get another chance unless there's a significant change in game updates or enough information has been missed out on. The script just helps me keep track of all my information I need, so it really does help. Another problem is time. Time is a really huge factor, you know? First of all, I have other things to work on in my videos. For example, the information must be up to date and correct. I must also do an adequate amount of testing before I can secure my claims. Then the screen text must be perfectly aligned when it comes to the video editing part. So that alone, I hardly have any time to rehearse my recordings multiple times, or even spare time to even practice. Then again, I'm still trying to compete with other efficient people in Runescape. Now I'm not saying that I prefer Runescape over YouTube, but keeping a balance on it is a challenge. And so yeah, I like to do both at once, but one or the other will have a shortage of time. So especially on double XP weekends, or any special weekends nearby, I tend to avoid any video production. I got college to do, and I'm on my last semester, so that's why I gotta make it good. So yeah, time is a really huge issue to me. The last and biggest reason is stuttering. Like I said before, it's something that I'm clearly not good at. I've never been good at this in fact. Look at my previous videos, especially some of my videos last year. I did a lot of live commentary, and I tried to sound more natural. No script at all, and that was what it looked like. Look at my introductory video especially. This was my very first video I made on RuneScape. I completely rambled everything. And do you think it sounded better than when it sounds today? Another common feedback I got was plagiarism on other YouTubers' ideas. Well, first and foremost, I just want to tell you, I don't intentionally steal other people's ideas. Secondly, just because we have similar videos doesn't actually mean we're stealing each other's ideas. Would it be fair that just because someone posted, let's say, a 1 to 99 woodcutting guide, it's considered plagiarism? Well, it really depends, but for the most part, no. If the content inside is mostly the same, then probably yes, but even then, there are a couple of factors. For one thing, is there any commentary versus no commentary? Well, a lot of my ideas, if they're similar to another person's ideas, it's just because I've added commentary to explain how the method actually works. Some people prefer commentary over music, while others prefer differently. So no, I don't intentionally go word for word and copy someone's ideas. I guess a lot of times this gets pretty biased. It seems like others who are making this as an excuse are people who are either defending their friends, or they're probably doing this out of their jealousy. Really though, I for the most part do not claim to be stealing another person's ideas, okay? I do give people credit if another person posted it before me, but it's usually if I saw that video beforehand. Like I said before, does every YouTuber have to go and search every video on YouTube with the same title and list every single video? I'm pretty sure the descriptions would be clogged if that was the case. I mean, this is a big issue in general, and we're all taught in school to never plagiarize, right? But I feel that what I do isn't generally a form of plagiarism. So anyways, if I make videos based on a certain video guide, or maybe a Reddit guide, then I'll link the guide in the description as a citation. But otherwise, I do not intentionally copy other people's ideas. So I hope that clears everything up for you. While this isn't a common problem as much as last year, I do admit I don't always show the most efficient method. So sometimes whenever I write my methods, I wouldn't gear them towards people who are extremely efficient. For instance, looting during Slayer tasks is a prime example. A lot of very efficient people don't actually loot their drops. So sometimes my definition of efficiency is not the same as others. It's just what I consider efficient is a balance of both XP and gold. So I think the top XP gainers here only consider high XP methods but costly methods more efficient than, let's say, the middle class XP but cheap methods. I do tend to balance both, so yeah. Now I'm going to keep this section short, so let me get this straight. While you may think my primary target audience are the extremely efficient people, I do tend to keep it a little more realistic. I do try to expand my target audience, so yeah, that's why I keep things a little more realistic. So this ties into my next feedback. Are you putting too much information on screen? Yes and no. The information I put in my videos are necessary in my opinion, for most cases that is. This is because I'm trying to teach people everything they need to know about the methods I talk about. For example, if I were to make an abyss guide with chinchampas, I would list everything they need to know about this method. It's kind of like explaining it to a newcomer. Of course, I'm not going to say, oh, RuneScape's an online RPG game, or go anywhere too simplistic, but you get the idea, right? So yes, overall I do need to leave in the basic information. If you feel it's unnecessary, you're free to skip the section. And as always, I will provide a table of contents. So anyways, let's talk about the biggest challenges I face as a YouTuber throughout this year. I mean, we all face challenges, right? Well, one of the challenges I face is usually the overwhelming factor when it comes to video ideas. So basically, let's say I got a new video idea and I want to work on it, right? At first, I might jot down a few notes about the method, but after an hour or so, I feel overwhelmed of how much work I have to do. I guess it's normal at first because you don't know where to start, but hey, that's just something to consider for me. I still get through this, don't worry. Sometimes I would write down some information in my head and then it would kind of explode and I wouldn't be able to write for the rest of the day. This video is no different because yeah, as you can see, it's already quite a long video. It took me a couple days to organize everything basically. And another challenge I faced was fitting and aligning the text on the screen. Early on it was a huge problem, although right now it's not really much of a problem anymore. Like I didn't start using on-screen text until like the Errant Mage guide. Obviously, as you can see, it's extremely horrible since it took up most of the space. But then I later found out that I could place the text in the chat box instead. Yeah, that took me a while to figure out on Vegas. Back then when I figured out how to do it properly, I started to make it more readable by actually putting it around the chat box. Nowadays it's even less of a problem, especially since I have a Photoshop template for placing the text. The only challenge is what information I put on there. So yeah, it does take around 10 minutes of organizing each slide. Well, perhaps another big challenge so far is balancing between RuneScape and YouTube. I think it's a huge challenge for a lot of YouTubers out here, right? Well, it really depends on how much time you need to spend on a video. I guess some higher end YouTubers don't need to spend that much time, because they can probably make a video in an hour if they wanted to. I did struggle with my RuneScape gains, but yeah, I like to do both RuneScape and YouTube at once. So pretty much I don't mind sacrificing my RuneScape gains for YouTube. I just generally like to share my knowledge on things, so it's like a win-win situation for me. And another big challenge is fear of missing information. Well, sometimes I gotta realize that not all videos are perfect, even though they're meant to be perfect, right? Well, sometimes I would feel bad if the video wasn't perfect. I guess I just like to be perfect all the time and make everyone satisfied. But no, that's not the real word, you know? So another fear I face was audio quality. Of course, as you notice, some of the videos didn't have great audio quality. I'm not talking about the voice not sounding natural, but things like the echoing sound or the sound looks too muffled. Take a listen quickly at my Celestial Dragon guide, for example. Pretty much some of my videos have echoing and buzzing noises with a new microphone. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to find the optimal sound quality. Now the last big challenge I face was distractions. A lot of times I would get distracted with social media like Reddit or Twitter, or just check my comments every few seconds. The reason I need to participate in multiple communities is I guess the personality itself. I just want to sometimes expand my audience, so that's why I browse Reddit a lot. I also use my Twitter for any RuneScape related achievements or milestones. So with that all being said, let's go through the final section, the 2017 goals. I do have a few goals in my mind, so this is going to be a rough draft. First and foremost, I want to improve my voice. I just want to make it sound more natural than what it is right now. I want to eventually stop using scripts and just use notes to organize my information. I know I've seen on the feedback that says I'm doing fine with my voice, but really, another reason I want to stop using a script is, well, it takes too much time to write. Maybe if I use shorter notes, it would take a lot less time. Of course, this is going to be a huge challenge, but I'll try my best to make it happen. Obviously, it's not going to happen within the first month or two, but I'll still gradually condense my scripts down to jot notes. Now think of it as a Runescape bug basically. It'll take time to fix, but that's why I put it in my backlog, right? Like the ninja team basically. It's just, I have a lot of trouble organizing my information for the most part. Well, at least now I'm enrolled in a public speaking club called Toastmasters. Another huge goal is to get 10k subscribers. I know this sounds unrealistic right now, but I still think I can make it there. What will it take? Well, if I made videos more often, it would definitely help. A lot of times this year, I struggled to make videos consistently. I just had a very inconsistent upload schedule. You know, sometimes I had a lot of time to produce videos, whereas other times, I virtually had no time. Of course, I'll be trying my best to do more uploads more often next year. I also should focus more on trying to do more than efficient scaling guides. I could maybe put various Runescape content. My Toast only started this year from scratch, and he got like 10k subs very quickly, so I maybe gotta start being like him. It's possible I might return to my Iron Man series too. I waited all year to do that. It's just, for the most part, it's really time consuming. If I understood the methodologies on how to make progress videos with Iron Man series, you know, maybe to do live commentary instead, then yeah, it would definitely save a lot of time. It's just, well, I got a lot of things to do, and I'm not sure whether I can achieve that goal or not. But for the most part, I do hope to return to that series at least. Not just any Iron Man series, but perhaps I should do more progress videos more often, rather than just guides alone. I'm sure sneaking in one every 2 months or so would be a start. Particularly double XP weekend would be the best times to make progress videos and show my gains. So yeah, pretty much these are my main goals I have in mind so far. Now this is just a rough draft, so yeah, nothing's final. I might even explode and hit 50k maybe, or I might even retire after 6 months. Who knows what will happen in 2017. As for video ideas I have in mind, I think I have a lot, but feel free to comment down some so I can keep note of it. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it answers a lot of questions and feedback. If there's any more feedback I forgot to address, then feel free to comment down as well. Any questions too, feel free to ask as well. Sorry I kept this really long, but yeah, it's pretty much the sum of the entire year of YouTubing. Also, feel free to check out part 2, which will show the RuneScape gains. Happy New Year's, and best of luck in 2017.